Today on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group, Customs and Border Protection personnel, not U.S. troops, used a military laser to shoot an object near El Paso, Texas. And the IRS moves operations employees to tax services for filing season amid ongoing workforce cuts. It's Friday, February 13th, 2026. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you'll hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm the host of the Daily Scoop podcast, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. And now let's dive into the day's top headlines. U.S. Customs and Border Protection personnel, not American service members, shot down an object with a military laser earlier this week near El Paso, Texas, according to multiple sources familiar with the situation. Troops with Joint Task Force Southern Border were not authorized to shoot down drones in the area. The task force, which works hand in hand with federal law enforcement and serves as the primary military entity for the U.S.-Mexico border mission, trained CBP personnel on the equipment who used it during the incursion. A source familiar with the situation told Defense Scoop that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth approved the transfer of a military counter-drone system to CBP. Sources did not identify the specific laser system that was used. U.S. Border Patrol falls under CBP. The operation reportedly caused interagency turmoil between the Pentagon and Federal Aviation Administration, prompting the latter to issue a 10-day flight restriction that lasted only hours into Wednesday. CBS News reported that the military planned to use counter-drone technology near Fort Bliss, Texas, which is near El Paso International Airport. The FAA and Pentagon were expected to meet later this month to discuss the operation, but the military moved forward with the operation on its own. A Trump administration official had told Defense Scoop that Mexican cartel drones breached U.S. airspace and that the Defense Department took action to disable the drones. The official added that the FAA and Pentagon determined there is no threat to commercial travel. The Defense Department declined to comment and referred questions to CBP, which did not respond for comment by publication. Turning now to other news, the IRS moved forward this week with plans to involuntarily move employees with no direct tax experience to perform customer service and analysis duties for this year's filing season. According to email notices obtained by FedScoop, multiple IRS employees for the agency's IT and Human Capital Office were informed Monday that they were assigned to a 120-day involuntary detail to the agency's Taxpayer Services Division as either a customer service representative or as a tax examiner. The detail, effective February 22nd, could be extended beyond the 4-month period, per the notice. Joseph Ziegler, the agency's chief of internal consulting, stated in a notice that neither position will require direct engagement with taxpayers or answering phones, adding that the tax filing season is the most important time of the year for the agency. It's unclear how many employees were affected by the temporary reorganization, but it follows a series of shakeups and losses for the agency. Among those impacted were IT employees who were among a group of about 1,000 staffers abruptly moved from the IRS's Office of the Chief Information Officer to the Office of the Chief Operations Officer last December. FedScoop spoke with one IRS IT employee who requested the condition of anonymity to speak freely, who said, quote, "How do you think Joe taxpayer will feel about people with no tax experience handling their taxes?" Unquote. Other employees are taking the task in stride, however. One non-IT staffer impacted by the reassignment said the move is ultimately to help support taxpayers, no matter where we work. Monday's notice stated that training will begin February 23rd, and employees can expect to receive FAQs for common questions. The agency sent another notice to management Thursday, stating that the supervisory roles will receive about 9 weeks of instructor-led training, followed by 4 weeks of on-the-job instructor support. For more news at the intersection of the federal government and technology, make sure to visit fedscoop.com. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Scoop podcast, available on all podcast platforms. If you've already rated the podcast on your platform of choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people to find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Adam Butler and Carlin Fisher help put the show together, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back next week with more top headlines. Until then, I'm your host, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for listening.